Okay. Is it over? Nope. Nope. It's a long one. It's a long. Yes! Woo! Oh my god, I got it. Oh my god, I finally got it. 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 Oh my god, I finally got it. I finally got it. This is run 265. 265 runs. Six Lifebinders Handmaidens. Four Experiment 12Bs. And the only mount that mattered. One Blazing Drake. After all these years, the Blazing Drake is now mine, baby. I never have to run Dragon Soul again. Ah, that's right. I never have to run Dragon Soul ever again. And honestly, I'm still a little bit in disbelief. I just can't believe that it's finally over. I never have to go back in there. I don't think I have any other Mogs I want to get. It's over. It felt so good to finally get that. And the extra cherry on top was that I was able to do it on stream. If you want to watch that VOD fully, that is linked somewhere on the video or in the description. There's currently no other mount that I'm farming that has that many runs into it. So hopefully that never happens again, because that was brutal. That was just absolutely awful. And if anyone is still farming that mount or whatever their Blazing Drake is, good luck. I hope you get it ideally this month with Collector's Bounty, but at some point soon, so you're not continuing to have to farm. And hopefully you're able to experience that joy that I felt finally getting the Blazing Drake after driving myself crazy trying to get it. With that, I continued to run more stuff this week. A little bit less, though. I wasn't running as many things. I only have a few Collector's Bounty mounts left, but I tried to run a few Transmog runs in Molten Core and Blackwing Lair, and after doing that on 2 characters, I was ready to call it. I was just not that interested in doing it, so I don't think I'm going to be farming as much Transmog as I hoped I was going to, as I mentioned, I think last week or the week before. I might spend some time this week and next week farming out on a few characters, at least the amounts that I have left, and maybe some Transmogs, but overall, I feel like Collector's Bounty went well for me. I'm happy with the event overall. I thought it was fantastic. I hope they bring it back in the future, at least maybe once a year, if not kind of like an end of expansion type of thing for a month. Speaking of farming, one of the things I really want to talk about is the Darkfuse rep grind, because this past week I finished doing that. I got Exalted, as well as I got the mount from the Paragon rep. I only got 1 box that I had to open to get the Paragon mount. Someone in the raid I was in said they had 8 Paragon boxes and did not get the mount yet. Which, if you think about it, to get Exalted from neutral, it's 4,200 market research. If he's going for his 9th Paragon box, he's gotten Exalted essentially 3 times in order to get 1 more mount. And this whole thing got me thinking and a little bit annoyed with Blizzard's philosophy on this, because over the last week, I think there's been, 3, 4, maybe 5 different Darkfuse farming spots to make it go quicker. And Blizzard just keeps nerfing them, and I feel like there doesn't necessarily need to be the most engaging or fun thing to do all the time. Like, some things can specifically be for collectors like myself who want to just do extra stuff. It's miscellaneous content, but I think that miscellaneous content should always either be rewarding and or fun. Ideally both. And this grind is neither, because the mount that you get for Exalted is okay, I guess, but especially the Paragon mount, it's embarrassing. It's almost insulting that is the mount that we get. And I feel like if there's that many farms that are being found on a weekly basis and Blizzard is nerfing them, I feel like Blizzard should stop for a second and look inwards and think, okay, well, clearly people are not liking something we've done here because they are trying to find the easiest and quickest way to do this, which everyone's always going to do for every bit of content. This many things in the span of a week? At that point, I think Blizzard needs to do something to fix it and not just nerf the farm. So I hope that Blizzard stops nerfing those farms, makes the Darkfuse grind easier, like 100% easier, and makes the Paragon mount 100% chance to drop, because there's no reason people should be getting 3 times Exalted just to potentially maybe get that mount. So from there, I want to talk about some more delves that I was doing. I finished off all the delves as a resto on my Shaman. Overall, I would say that healing a tank Brann is not really that difficult, but I think that there's some things that are still very annoying about tank Brann. Like, for example, his method of tanking is by kiting all the time into other mobs, especially elites. And that's by itself annoying because he will just keep pulling more and more trash packs and making it harder to actually heal him. But especially as a shaman, some of my healing comes from totems, and he's constantly moving out of them. And even if I relocate them, he's moving out of them immediately, and it's so frustrating trying to heal this dude. Or Sinkhole, for example, was so frustrating because ads would spawn, he would kite them out of the boss room, the boss would follow him, and he would reset. So I had to do that like 5 or 6 times before I finally got it. And the way that I did it was I had to find the wall that was furthest away from the entrance and run against it, hoping that he would teleport to me in time, and also the boss would run to us far enough where he wouldn't reset. And that just sucks. I think that it's a little bit disappointing that we've had Tank Brann for now a whole season and his AI hasn't changed at all. The way he plays hasn't changed. And it furthers the idea that they don't test their own games, because I think that if anyone in Blizzard had actually played multiple delves, they would have seen, oh, this is a problem and we need to fix this before it goes live because this is unacceptable. Actually, one thing that really did suck was those underwater delves. I finally understood how bad they are, because on my warrior I have that fishing pole that makes me have unlimited breathing. I didn't know that such a simple mechanic could be so unbelievably annoying. So I wouldn't be mad if they just decided to just straight up delete the underwater delves. Those suck. Outside of that, the only other thing that I did was leveled up my enhancement Earthen Shaman. From 59 to 70, it took me only 4 dungeons this week because Turbulent Timeways is up, as well as Winds of Mysterious Fortune, and also that Shaman had like a 45-minute buff still from Dark Moon Fair, so an extra 10% there. Now that he's 70, all of my alts are once again level 70, so just getting the last 10 levels on all of them will be a little bit tedious and long to do, but just slowly working my way through that with time walking. From there, I'll talk about the achievements that I got this week. I was able to get 235 more points, and I'm ending the week at 46,895. Very excitedly, I checked data for Azeroth, and I found that I was finally in the top 1,000 for US players for achievement points. Very, very proud and happy about that. But starting off by getting the Blazing Drake, I was finally able to finish off the Awake the Drakes achievement. I finally have that done after all these years. This was week 5 of Turbulent Timeways, so I was able to get the achievement for that. On my Hunter, I jumped into Sanctum of Domination, and I was able to get 2 legendary bows to drop, so by equipping that, I was able to get the Vita Strength for equipping that legendary bow off Sylvanas. I was able to get the second optional achievement on Cauldron of Carnage called Torque's Biggest Fan. I just have one more optional achievement from that raid, which is to do the die thing, so I have to figure that out and do that eventually. Like I mentioned, I got a Long Fuse, which is to get exalted with Darkfuse solutions. With that, my reputation tab is now 100% complete. I imagine that will change in the next patch, but for now, 100% done reputations. Did some more visions this past week and was able to get the Mountain of Mementos achievement, which is to get 75,000 mementos from them. I got the Fake It Till You Make It achievement, which is the Tazavesh hard mode, which I will try to get a video on how to do that for Friday. Lots of delving this week made it so that I was able to unlock the Algari Tank and Healer Delve achievements to do 4, 8, and 11s in those roles. And that unlocked the Algari Delver achievement, which is to complete up to tier 8 with all 3 roles. So the only delve achievements that I have left are to complete 500 and then 1000 delves, and then to open 500 bountiful chests. Then we'll spend some time talking about the mounts that I got this week, because I got 17 new mounts this week. Starting off once again with the Blazing Drake, finally got that done. With the Awake the Drakes achievement, I was able to get the Emerald Drake, which I really don't like these models and I don't like this mount. On my stream on Monday, the first run of the day, I did ny'alotha and I was able to get the ny'alotha Allseer. This is a very cool looking mount. I just don't like the saddle that's on top. I was finally able to get the Void Scarred Lynx from the Flames Radiance dailies. I think it looks very cool. For collecting a bunch of rare items in the Siren Isle, I was finally able to finish off 3-year Eyes of the Siren. I finally finished up Sizbarg. It's a long grind from a rare quest line that you get from Ashkahet. I spent some time going into Darkflame Cleft to finally get the last item that I needed for the Stone Vault mech suit. This is the mount you get from Stone Vault. I've had this since Season 1 and just been hanging onto it, so with all the mounts I got, I figured now's a good time to add this to the collection. But side note, what is with all these non-centered mounts lately? Like, I really don't like how this now sits at the very top of my screen rather than just right in the center. I don't know what that's about. For 20,000 mementos, I was able to get the original Vision mount, the Wicked Swarmer. For finishing off Turbulent Timeways, I got the Chrono Corsair, which is just a fantastic mount. I love this. Like I said, I finished off Tazavesh hard mode and got the Tazavesh Gear Glider. I really like the way this looks. Then from here, it's a bunch of rep stuff because I forgot I could get that last week. So I started off by getting the Ochre Delivery Rocket, which is from getting Exalted with Venture Company for 11,000 Resonance Crystals. I also got the Venture Coordinator, which is from the Paragon boxes from Venture Co. It took 2 chests for me to get this. I got the Mean Green Flying Machine from getting Steam Weedle Exalted for 11,000 Resonance Crystals. The Blackwater Shredder Deluxe Mark II for Blackwater Cartel Exalted for 8,000 Resonance Crystals. The Crimsoned Armored Growler for getting Bilgewater Exalted for 8,000 Resonance Crystals. The Darkfuse Demolisher for getting Darkfuse Solutions Exalted for 11,000 Resonance Crystals. And then lastly, I got the very ugly Bronze Goblin Wave Shredder, which is the Paragon mount for the Darkfuse Solutions rep. Again, it took one box for me to get this, and it is ridiculous that this is the mount that you get for all that work. But that is it for me. That's everything that I did last week and all the things that I wanted to talk about. Let me know what's going on in your week. What are you up to? What are you farming still? What have you finally gotten? Maybe there's something you're doing outside of the game with this nice weather we're having. Let me know down below in the comments, everything. I would love to hear about it. If you like these dives into what I'm doing every week, give this video a thumbs up because it really does help me out. And if you're not already subscribed, I really appreciate it if you would at least consider it. If you're already a subscriber, I love you so much. Thank you for that. With all the farming we've been doing lately, there's always that question of, is what I'm doing pointless? If you want to hear my thoughts on that, I made a video discussing whether or not I think grinding is pointless. If you want to hear my thoughts on that, click the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching. I love you lots. Have yourself a fantastic week. I'll talk at you next week. I love you.